right. Hello and welcome to Smiling Souls. This is Stephanie Keenan Ray with Dale LePage and, of course, Miss Wendy T.
Yay. Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
Hey, kids. Welcome to Pillow Talk, where we talk about your latest sexual conquest. Please call us with your feedback at 555. What was his name?
Oh, God. So Dale LePage is...
I figured that sets the tone for the interview.
Yes.
I think it does. This is what you should expect.
Gonna be a wild ride with Mr. LePage.
I've been told I'm intense.
Intense?
Mm-hmm.
That's not a phrase I would have used, but okay.
I accept it. I know.
Yeah. So Dale is a good dear friend, one of the kindest, most gentle humans I know, actually.
Stephanie saved my skin.
I did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And apparently there's
a ghost in the house. I actually lived in a haunted house.
You're going to tell that story later.
Oh, okay.
If that's okay.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we can talk ghosts.
We only made it 43 weeks.
43.
Yep. We had to move out. It was just so horrible.
What was the tipping point?
When it pulled the bedspreads off us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that would do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
43 weeks, bedspreads gone.
Yep.
All right,
okay.
Now we just have to tell the story because we're deep into it now.
Do you want to do your intro, or do you want to say anything to each other before I take over your channel?
I think that was the intro. And hi, Steph.
Hi.
That's the only thing you're going to say this whole hour.
You never know. Hey, Steph.
Yeah.
Guess what time it is?
It's time for a word from our sponsors.
Hey, everybody. Got a question for you. Have you ever felt like you don't deserve to put the oxygen mask on yourself first because you don't feel worthy to take care of yourself? I'm here to tell you from personal experience that as a result of that, you're probably experiencing burnout if you are not already, because that's for sure what happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have a solution for you, and it's really easy and it's fun and it's actually kind of beautiful. I created this journal for you. And so this journal is your self-care sanctuary, right? Mm-hmm. And inside, I've got some journaling prompts. Actually, I've got 30 days of journaling prompts. So you get in there and it's not like, I don't know what to write. You're directed, right, to write. And then I also give you some blank pages so that when you feel like getting something off your chest, out of your head, you can just get in there and be in the flow and do that. But one of the journaling prompts is about releasing guilt, right? Because who doesn't have some kind of guilt, right? I do from time to time. And so this is just a way to guide you through all of these prompts. And after 30 days, you're going to have peace of mind. So head to the website, which is coach-wendy.com/journal. Write your name, type your name, good grief, type your name, your email address, hit download now, and you get this immediately. You can start today. And so remember, this is for you. This is for your peace of mind. coach-wendy.com/journal.
Okay.
But tell us about the ghost story.
Can I tell you a little bit about me first?
Sure.
All right. I'm going to be 64 years old. I'm the reigning First Majesty of Worcester, Massachusetts. I am a live singing female impersonator. I do I Love Lucy, Lucille Ball. I do Cher. I do Marilyn Monroe. I do Shania Twain.
And some
any other gay icon you can think of.
Dolly Parton.
He hasn't done Dolly yet.
I have.
Oh wait, you did. That's
I
right.
did,
That was
yes.
so good.
But not the old, softer Dolly. I do the facelift pull too tight Dolly. The now Dolly.
Yeah.
And Dolly said if she wasn't born a woman, she'd probably be a drag queen.
Yeah, she would.
Her words. Yes.
Oh.
What's up, Jolene?
What's up, Jolene? I love that song. Although it makes me think of, weird side note. Remember the Bleach, the Jolene Bleach?
Oh, for your upper lip or your
Yeah. Every time I hear that song, I think of that.
That's hilarious.
Jolene Bleach. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Now that's so
Let this be a lesson to women out there. Bleaching is okay. Do not shave.
Yes.
Do not shave. You just end up with
Just
stubble.
wax.
Just wax. You just
Much
end up with
easier.
stubble.
And
And
so,
and if your husband wants to kiss something with stubble, he'll be kissing a man. So there you go.
you're right.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
All
And
right.
there you go.
And you just lost your audience.
Right?
I don't think so. I think they're leaning in. My chin dropped to the floor when you said you're 64.
64. Yes.
Yeah, no.
Stephanie's in charge of my skin.
I mean, obviously beautiful. Just nowhere near do you look 64.
Well, I have lots of makeup on.
Well, no, he doesn't look
Really?
64 at all. But
I do, yes.
he does. He always has makeup on.
I do.
Why is it trying to give the thumbs up? But when we first met, it was hilarious because
I love that.
yeah, right. When we first met, it was hilarious because he thought I was like 20 something.
Yeah.
And I just assumed he was my age. And I was like, I have officially entered that time in life where you think somebody who's 30 to 60 something
Yeah.
is
It's
the same age as
It
you.
is tough to tell.
And
Yes.
while I was like 40 something.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know.
But in full disclosure, not my nose, not my cheekbones, not my chin. So, I paid for the glamour of it all.
yeah.
I mean, you just look gorgeous. Just beautiful.
You remind me of my favorite comedian of all time. Her name is Sarah Millican. And if you do not know who she is, you need to look her up. She's one of the funniest people on the planet. She's like the #1 comedian in the UK.
Really?
And she is so please steal some of her material and go on the road.
And go on the road.
And I'll open for you.
There you go. We've
Yes.
got a show now.
and Steph's got to come along. And
Yeah, just for
Oh
fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
okay. So how did you guys meet?
We worked together at the salon.
Yeah,
So,
I've been a hairstylist, makeup artist for 38 years.
mhm.
Okay.
And
During COVID, I came back into the industry and got a job at the salon that he works at, and
Yes.
he was the first
which-
person who became my real friend.
which is a very nice salon. It's 126 Post Salon, June Street, Worcester. It's a nice looking salon. It's the nicest group of people I have ever worked with.
Absolutely.
Except for that one guy I had to take to court. Do you remember that? Were you there for that?
I wasn't there for that, but I've
Oh my
heard
God.
about him.
Okay.
I've
What?
heard.
So there was a guy who worked across from me at a station, and he was you think I'm inappropriate? He was just
I've
grossly
heard about him from everyone.
inappropriate. And when I would not reciprocate his I'm going to say advances. Like, I'm in bed at night. Like I've been married to the most wonderful man on the planet for 41 years.
Oh,
He's literally the nicest. I call him Gandhi in a good suit. He's the nicest human you will ever want to meet. His name is Jeff Burke. He's the 8-time realtor for Massachusetts, and he's so sweet. And he puts up with me for 41 years.
41 years. That's congratulations.
Thank you. You were there at our party, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I would be lying in bed, like looking at porn, and then my phone would ding, and I would get these really, really inappropriate messages from this coworker of mine with
Really?
pictures. Which I am. First of all, let me just start out by saying that I am as loyal and monogamous as. I think that's what it's about. I'm not into open relationships. I'm not that secure.
Yeah,
I'm not. No, I'm jealous of anything. Right. So, and my husband's unbelievable.
Gorgeous.
My husband is unbelievably handsome. I don't care where we're going. I don't exist.
But you're both beautiful.
I'm like the shadow that
insane.
follows him. No, he's gorgeous. He's like gorgeous. And we used to go to the gym all the time, and people would be tripping over me to get to him.
That's
yeah. And I would just get out of their way.
You're like,
Yeah. He's just he's amazing. Anyway, so what story was I telling?
creepy guy from work that bothered you.
Sending me inappropriate things. So I show them to my husband, who's like right next to me, and he's like, "Oh, this has got to stop."
Yeah.
So the guy ended up, I had to go to court to because he was suing our boss, and I had to go to court to say like how unstable he was, how inappropriate he was. And you know what? I'm not very bright. I've never been very bright. So when he would send me those pictures and messages, I would just delete them.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I not thinking.
Yeah, because that's what I would do too.
Yeah, I'm like, I never
don't want to see this.
Yeah,
out
no.
of sight, out of mind thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, I had to go to court.
You don't think it's evidence later?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't have any evidence.
Oh.
So he won, and they had to pay him money, and it was awful. Yeah, and in the meantime, he's in the parking lot of the salon. When I come out of work to go home, he's revving his engine like he's going to run me over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, truly unstable, right?
Truly.
But he's dead now.
So there.
So there.
So there.
So Dale also, besides being
But he's dead now.
hairdresser, entertaining fellow of all sorts, he also is an artist, a wonderful artist, like
watercolor
yep. And
costume design.
Yep. And and all of it is art.
And
really.
it's like makeup is art.
Mm-hmm.
My watercolor paintings I paint to donate to charities to raise funds for their events. And I've been involved in so many charities and every charity.
And this is when I say he's the kindest, nicest human
you'll
ever.
Jeff is.
Okay, Jeff is number one. He's number two.
I'm really an evil monkey. So
in disguise.
I just donated 2 paintings to the LGBT Asylum Task Force. If you do not know what that is, it's an incredible organization. It is still illegal, punishable by life imprisonment in over 60 countries to be lesbian, gay, or transgender. So, and if you live in one of those countries, you can literally be murdered and they won't even look for the killer because it's just like, it's not important to them.
Mm-mm.
So they rescue people, somewhat kind of like the Underground Railroad.
Yeah.
People will reach out. They'll be in hiding.
Right.
Their houses have been burned down. Their lover or husband or wife has been murdered. They need to escape. Pastor Judy Hanlon, who at Hadwin Park Church, the organization rescues these people and brings them to the U.S. so they can try and survive and just exist.
Right.
Yeah. And the horror stories that you hear at these fundraisers are like, here, just take my money, save this person's life. It's incredible. So I just donated 2 paintings to that, and people were extremely generous and sweet and nice.
Yeah.
And then I also am involved in Safe Homes Worcester, where, like, for example, if there is this happens so often, too often, if a child comes out to their parents and their parents are not accepting,
Right.
they get thrown out of the house.
Yeah.
So Safe Homes gives them a place to live so they can finish high school. And among other things, they give them therapy.
Yeah.
And they also have a therapy group for the parents now to help them. Yeah. So there are lots of great organizations. I'm sure you guys are involved in charities also.
Yeah,
right?
we are. We need to get more involved.
Definitely.
Now that we're talking about this. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's
I'm sorry, I'm taking over.
It's okay.
There's a really
Take over.
there's a really fun event coming up. Well, it's a group called Preservation Worcester. I am based in Worcester. Worcester's been very good to me. I'm going to backtrack a little bit, and I'm originally from a very small town, un poquito, called Templeton, Massachusetts. Grew up on a farming community. When I graduated high school, I packed up my green Chevy Chevette with everything I owned, which didn't even fill the car, and I drove to Worcester, Massachusetts because I could be myself there.
I see.
And I remember driving down Salisbury Street, and I was, 17, 18 when you graduated high school?
Yeah.
And I took a right on Park Ave, and I was in awe. I pulled over on the side of the road. When I say I was from a farming town, I mean I was from a farming town. I was on Park Ave and I pulled over because I saw my first neon sign. I had never seen a neon.
Really?
I had never seen
Yeah.
a neon sign before.
Mm-hmm.
And I pulled over on the side of the road and I said out loud to myself in the car, wow, this must be what Las Vegas is like.
You're so cute. Okay. How did you know? You said I left my home and I went to Worcester.
Yes.
I can't freaking say
Worcester?
the whatever. Because you said,
what town are you in?
So she's in Indiana.
Oh my God.
yeah, Northern Indiana. But
Okay.
you said I knew I could be myself.
Yes.
How
Yes.
did you know that?
Because about 2 months prior,
Yeah.
I had been at a little grocery store or whatever, and they had one of those magazines, and there was a ad for a LGBTQ bar. You know, it's like,
Oh, okay.
oh, there's a gay bar in Worcester. Oh my God! So I stole a car.
Well,
Yeah.
that's going to be a side story. Go ahead.
I stole a car, drove an hour to Worcester, Massachusetts, and sat in front of that gay bar. Just sat outside because I was too scared to do anything else.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, they look normal. They look human. They don't look like they're going to, you know.
Yeah.
And then I did it for like maybe like an hour and a half until I was it was like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tried to start the stolen car and it wouldn't start.
Of course not. And so what did you do?
I got up. I don't even know what the inside of the hood looks like, you know. But I thought,
Right.
but I've seen people like shake things and bang things, so I thought like, well, I could do that. And I opened the hood, and the doorman, the bouncer doorman,
Yeah.
bodyguard, whatever you want to call him, who was outside the gay club, came over, fixed my car, and
Wait,
said,
your car or the stolen car?
oh,
Well,
Just
my very temporary car.
your borrowed car. He fixed it. The bodyguard came over and fixed your borrowed car.
And I drove it back, snuck back into the house, put the keys back, and the person never even knew I stole it.
Well, they might now.
It was a neighbor. No, they're dead.
yeah.
Well, that seems to be the theme of the show. He's dead now.
They might still know, right? We still have a presence after our
That's
death.
true.
So
Yeah.
funny though, the things that we do as teenagers.
Mm.
We're like, yeah, I'm just gonna steal a car and go to
Oh,
Worcester.
yeah,
Like,
Worcester. Yeah.
yeah.
To see what other gay people look like.
Yeah.
Because I
Oh.
didn't know another gay person.
Right.
You
I
know?
was gonna ask you actually. So, because I mean, I know your outing story was a very good one.
Oh,
You
my
didn't
outing
have
story
the
was
stress
very,
stuff.
very good.
But even as a kid, like I know you knew you were
Different.
you.
Yeah. No.
But
yeah.
tell us a little bit
Right.
about that.
I know
Yeah.
I knew I was gay at a very young age when I had a super huge crush on Davy Jones from the Monkees.
Yes.
You guys
Yes.
old enough to
I was
remember
a-
the Monkees?
I liked Mickey.
Yes.
Oh, you
and
like Mickey? Okay.
I liked Mickey and I liked
Oh, yeah, Mickey.
what was the other one?
Yeah.
There was,
Mike. I liked
Mike.
Mike.
Yeah.
Mike. Is that the guy with the
Mickey-
hat? The
That
stocking-
he had the hat, yes. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
Mickey was the drummer.
Mickey was the drummer and
For-
Mike was the guitarist.
Or
I think.
Peter. Nobody likes Peter.
Peter was a dork.
Yeah, no.
I know.
You know the guy with the stocking cap, whatever
Yeah.
his name was.
He's like
His-
super rich or smart or something, right?
That's
His
Peter.
mother invented Post-its.
Yes, that was it. Yep.
You didn't know that?
Yes.
I think I did
Or was
way
it, wait,
back
wait.
here, but it wasn't
Wait.
important.
No,
Or was
Sarah
it
Milton's
whiteout?
right.
Was it Post-its or whiteout? One of the two she invented.
I think because you're saying Post-its, I think it's you're kind of you might be confusing it with that movie Romeo and Michelle.
Romeo and Michelle.
We invented Post-its.
Oh, right. I'm probably, yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. I think it was whiteout that she invented.
Okay. I remember I remember hearing that of something that his mother.
You guys need
Yeah.
an assistant to look up all this stuff while we're saying it. Yeah. Yeah. You should be
Oh,
like
like fact check
Yeah.
on the
his
fly.
name-
I can't do
his name was Nesbit, right?
Nesbeth.
Nesbit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah.
I can't tell you what's going on last week or whatever, but I can remember everything from back there.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, right?
Davy Jones
Exactly.
was the man.
Davy Jones was my crush. All right. So the only thing, I was very young. This is the coming out story, which is actually very sweet and funny. So, very young, the only thing I wanted to be in my life, from a very young age to my later teens, the only thing I ever wanted to be in my whole life was Cher. That's what I wanted to be. Like I thought, oh, I'm just going to be Cher.
Yes.
Now I do Cher in
He
my,
does do
I do.
Cher.
I should blow up a picture and hold it up to the screen.
Yes.
oh, all right.
Totally. Totally.
So, yeah, and I'm not even joking because my father was a great singer.
Okay.
And
He's a great singer.
That's where you get that from.
I started out in the music business, and when I moved to Worcester, I became a kind of a popular cabaret performer. Me and a pianist would go around. We at one point in time, my manager and my pianist and we like toured down from Maine to Florida, and I came back, and I was getting a good reputation. And I think I was maybe 19 and got nominated for Boston Entertainer of the Year.
Wow.
And from that, I got
You have to tell.
what?
Kids.
That's where I'm going. All right. So
all I got stuff was what?
So that's where I'm going. I'm good. That's where I'm going with this. So my manager got me an audition.
Don't drink that right now, Steph. Do not drink that. It's
I
gonna
love
come
the
out.
Snoopy mug. The Snoopy mug is
Sorry. Sorry, Dale. Go ahead.
That's okay. So
Here, let me look.
no, I got it.
Okay.
My manager got me on an audition in Boston. I was not 19. And I auditioned for a man named Maurice Starr, who put together a group called New Kids on the Block. They became very popular.
Oh my God.
I didn't know that.
So,
oh my God.
So I stood up on the stage. It was this beautiful theater, this completely empty, like the Hanover. Oh, I'm getting those chicken. Oh, look at this. Oh, God.
No.
I'm getting the Oprah Winfrey wings.
Everybody's got them.
Everybody, I think Kate Moss probably has them.
So I'm in this theater, and there's 5 guys in like row 10 center, and you go up there and you give the guy your music and you sing your heart out. This is like the chance of a lifetime, right? And I thought I killed it, and you have to stand there and wait until they say like, okay, whatever, their critiques or whatever. And I was done with my song, and the guy, Maurice Starr or whatever his one of his cronies, said, "You're really good, kid, but you're just too gay."
Was this before you came out?
A new kid.
I was out to my parents and my friends, but yeah. There's no way this is going to pass for straight anyway. But
I love that, like.
And one of the New Kids on the Block ended up being out
John.
gay anyway.
Oh, right. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the time, I guess
he had to pretend to be gay for so long.
So anyway, that was my big break. Okay, here's my Cher impression. Where's the there you go. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow, you're just gorgeous. You're Cher for sure.
I'm Cher, and this is my most popular one. This is Lucy.
Vitamin and Vegemin. No.
Vitamin and Vegemin. Yes.
Yeah.
And
Do the Marilyn.
do the Marilyn?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Marilyn.
Okay.
I see Dolly.
This is my Marilyn Monroe. There I am.
Oh wow. Wow.
And I'll show you Dolly later.
Okay.
So all right, so that's my
Mm.
coming out story. I wanted my parents to know these great things were happening in my life, so I drove to Templeton, and I couldn't stop crying, just crying, because you think you're going to like devastate your parents or whatever.
Right.
My mom, oh honey, mums, no, I knew from whatever. I knew
His mom is the cutest little.
I knew when you had Davy Jones plastered all over your wall and Donny Osmond.
Was that a giveaway? Little tip off?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know.
And my dad was like super. My dad was like a big sports guy and whatever. And I couldn't tell him. I said, please tell my dad. Please tell dad, because I
said to your mom.
I can't do it. I didn't have the strength at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got back to Worcester, my phone rang and I answered it. And my dad was on the phone. He was crying. He couldn't really hardly talk. He was just crying so hard. And after he finally calmed down, he said, "I'm crying because you couldn't tell me to." I was like, "Oh my God, he's the best."
He is the best.
Yeah, but he's dead now.
Yeah. Just like everyone else.
That seems to be the theme here, and he's dead now.
Can we get like a T-shirt?
He's dead now.
Well, Steph and I are going to have a line of merch. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're going to,
Oh my
and
God.
he's dead now.
All right. Do you want to talk about makeup, haunted houses? I know you guys must have a show flow.
The show flow. It's pretty
You would think.
conversational. But I would love to know, like, because I know that you used art as,
A coping
a
mechanism.
coping mechanism.
Mm.
Let's talk about that because
Yeah.
we're in a time where you're going to need more coping mechanisms, and
Oh.
others will too.
Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer in art
Yes.
as therapy and
Yes.
art to feel better. And when I met you was COVID times,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that was a challenge. And
Right.
I know a lot of people don't believe that you have anxiety, but I know you do.
Well, I'm much better now. I'm on.
Yes.
I'm honestly. This is a before COVID hit, I hosted 2 television shows and a radio show.
What?
I hosted New England Pride TV, which was Massachusetts' first LGBT talk show.
Right.
I was the creator and the host of that, and I
Yep.
used to have great, amazing guests on.
I can see that. Oh my gosh, you're so like a host personality.
Well, I do tend to take over a bit.
Mhm.
Do you really? I hadn't
No.
noticed.
No, I'm done. And that's how I learned about the LGBT Asylum Task Force. That's how I learned about safe homes and many other amazing charities. So the LGBT television show Pride TV, and then I also used to host a show called WooTube, which is about Central Mass. Yes, yep.
Worcester.
About musicians in New England.
Mhm.
So we would promote upcoming musicians, and I did that for 9 years.
Yeah.
And then I also had a radio show called the Good News Radio Show, which would only focus on good news
I love that.
and promote nonprofit charities. And we would have terrific and engaging guests. My co-host was Andrea Castanetti, and we just clicked.
Mm-hmm.
And that went on for 9 years. So I worked at the salon, gigged on the weekends with my band, hosted the show, 2 shows and a radio show. That was I was working like 70 hours a week.
I was going to say, that's a lot of time.
Then COVID hit, lost both television shows and the radio show because they were sponsor driven.
Mm-hmm.
So when none of the businesses are making any money, they can sponsor you. So so I went from working 70 hours a week to nothing. Went into a very deep depression. I mean, just inconsolable, and
then he met me.
and then I tried to kill myself. No. Joke. I'm sorry. No. I did get critically depressed, and I always thought medication meant I was weak.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to learn that taking medication doesn't mean you're weak. Something's not working right in your brain. And if there is something out there that can make the synapses click or connect again,
why not do it?
Why you have to.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to get political, but I'm so grateful that I do have something to even me out at this time in our
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I've been using makeup, art, watercolor painting, costume design to almost keep my mind busy with other things, so I don't focus on the things that I think are unjust. You know, because there's nothing. There's only so much you can do. You can fight.
Yep.
But you can fight, and we will fight. But until that time. Right. Yeah.
And so he, at that point, started doing a lot of art and
Makeup.
makeup,
Yeah.
and he would put these transformations. He'd just like make up
I
cool
would turn myself
transformations.
into different celebrities.
Like different celebrities, different art pieces, different, like he did a flower theme at one
Oh, I
point.
did, yes,
He did
yeah.
like all these different fun
Yeah,
things, and it
yeah.
was just so creative. And then eventually you did drag.
I did, because
Mhm.
it moved from my face down to my body.
Right.
Which, by the way, if there's anybody listening or watching this who does not think that drag is art, I beg to differ.
Absolutely.
Because you are literally transforming yourself,
Whole
your
body.
entire body, into a different version of somebody. I mean,
Yeah.
and let me, all right, here, I'm getting serious now. Because there is a misnomer going out around there that drag queens are bad, and drag queens are bad for kids, and drag queens are, you know what? If you hear of a drag queen doing a cartwheel at a show or something like that, and first of all, if the kids are there, they've got parental permission, and their parents are usually with them.
Yeah.
And the parents are usually with them, right?
Yeah.
And these things that kids are invited to, or
Yeah.
young adults, whatever, they're G-rated. They're not
No.
they're not R-rated.
Mhm.
They're G-rated,
Right.
and the performers will adjust their material for the show.
Sure.
Recently, somebody did do a cartwheel
Mhm.
at an anti-bullying event.
Mhm.
He was performing, and he was
Drag.
full drag, and he was performing a funny song.
Yeah.
Did a cartwheel, and nobody there had a problem with the cartwheel. It was the people that heard that a drag queen did a cartwheel in front of children.
I
Because
don't understand
he
why.
showed bloomers. He had like frilly bloomers on, which you see worse than that at a beach,
Mhm.
on the internet, in television, whatever.
Oh my God. It wasn't about the bloomers.
Not to
It was about
mention
this.
that he had bloomers, and then
Right. Well, that's where I'm going.
Get there.
All right. So I want everybody listening, or everybody who might care to spread this word, that if you see a drag queen do a cartwheel, you are not going to see anything, because I can attest to this.
Yeah.
You have two pairs of like super tight bike shorts on,
Mhm.
then two pairs of Spank hip pads on with the hip pads built in, and then over that, a pair of butt pads.
Yep.
To make you have a shape. So you've got 6 layers of spandex that are opaque. You can't see through them. And
You're
then
not saying nothing.
you're not seeing a thing.
Yeah.
And it's not about the bloomers. It's about this idiot
It
that
is.
has
Yeah.
an agenda. That's
It
what
is.
it's really about.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So this person who did the cartwheel ended up getting death threats,
Really?
ostracized. They were gonna burn the parents' house down. They were picketing. They called an emergency town meeting.
Over.
Yep.
Yep.
The principal of the school where the anti-bullying thing happened,
Mhm.
which was on a weekend,
Mhm.
Mhm.
people had to sign up for. I
Yeah.
believe he resigned.
Probably. Yeah. It's so crazy. So crazy.
Yeah.
I just like what it.
Let's just say that drag has been around for thousands of years.
Yep.
Thousands of years. I mean,
Original Shakespeare was
Shakespeare.
Yeah,
drag,
really.
and gosh, the Greeks, like
The Greeks.
the Romans.
But the term drag is from Shakespeare, a play. It stands for dressed as girl.
Mhm. Because that would be the
Really?
side note, the
Because
stage note.
Women were not allowed to be on stage.
Right.
So there
Okay.
had to be a man dressed as girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dressed girl.
Isn't that
Oh
crazy?
my
though?
God.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I love the history
Same
behind it and knowing things
yeah.
like that. Right.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
I do have a question. So, Dale, when you were,
Am I going to let you speak now? Okay, go ahead.
yes, you are.
Yes.
Don't make me put my crown back on. It'll give me a headache.
Please do.
When you were in your depression, when you were deep in it,
Yes.
what was it that led you to art? What was it that gave you that sign or that signal? Like, oh, okay. Yeah,
I believe in my, I can only speak for myself. I mean, all
Yeah.
of this, all of this, I can only speak for myself. I, art has always been a form of therapy for me from a young age.
Mhm.
Even in school, being dyslexic, when you go to you need a safe space. So I was like extremely bullied at school. I was just an outcast, and the only place I felt comfortable was in art class. So that's how it began. Because my art teacher, he was not gay.
No.
He was married with children, just a very loving, nurturing individual. He knew that I was in need of a safe space.
Yep.
So, I mean, art became my safe space, and it continued all of my life, you know? And my parents were extremely nurturing about art also.
Yeah.
They let me take, we had like, I mean, we were not rich by any means, and we had a very small bedroom, but she let me take an entire wall.
Yeah.
And I painted an enchanted forest landscape with like,
That is
so she let me do, I mean,
cool.
my parents were amazing, you know, really, for back in the early 60s, you know, that's crazy.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Yeah, so I think everyone has their coping mechanisms. People like journaling. People are just diving into books, reading more for escapism. I watch trashy television, you know. I love trashy television because that's my escape, you know. Yeah. I'm not one of those people you would call. I'm not a fragile flower, but I do need television to escape the news. I have a hard time watching the news.
Don't watch the news.
I do. I have a hard time. I have a hard time watching the news.
Yeah. Like I say, I do the fluffy news, like where there's a good story and stuff as well, like not just the end of the world situations.
And I just like whatever I need to know.
Even at that, it's limited because I'm like, I can't take too much in right now.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
I'm with you.
You gotta limit it. Yeah.
But,
gotta limit it.
Yeah. So you did, evolved into the drag. You also have written children's stories.
I've written six. I've written 6 children's books.
And he used to do the drag story time. That was so cool.
I did. I loved it. I loved it.
Okay, so tell us what you've written, and then I want to hear about drag story time.
Okay, sure. I have written. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Medium.
Yeah, I can see it.
That's Sarah Milliken. That's who you remind me of.
Okay, let me see. Really?
Yeah.
She's got a big note. Oh, I've got a big note.
She does not. That was mean. Don't be mean.
I do have. Yeah, it's getting bigger as I get older. I don't know why.
How about if I say that you're a more attractive version of her?
Well, I'll take that. Thank you.
Yes, I wrote a series of children's books called Strange Gifts. The first one is called Strange Gifts. It's about a club. The kids belong to this 5 kids, and they belong to the Doofus Club because I was called a doofus when I was a kid, so I wanted to own that and make it something fun. So it was the Doofus Club. And they get into fun adventures, and they're very lighthearted. There's always a good lesson in it.
I love that.
There's 6 books. They're all available on Amazon. Just type in Dale LePage, LEPAGE. All the books are on Amazon. I'm sorry, just
you're fine.
Yes, and they're a lot of fun. And I also have a young book called the ABC book, which is each letter has a poem, not a poem, but a funny verse. Yeah, a funny verse.
Oh, wow.
And that's been my bestseller.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
And when you don't think people are paying attention to your stuff, like on Amazon or whatever, you never know when you sell on Amazon because the publisher is the one who gets the order. So you don't. So every once in a while, you'll get like a check in the mail for a certain amount. And I'm like, I mean, I'm certainly not J.K. Rowling's, but I can buy groceries,
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Good.
It's absolutely. I'm you know what? I am proud of the book series because not only is it funny, it's funny for kids.
Yeah.
I say it's from ages, 6 to 600.
Mm-hmm.
But they're always good lessons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Book
Right.
book 3 or 4 is about recycling, but in a really funny way.
Love that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that. That's so cool.
And
That's
I know both of you two are very creative people, and they say everybody has a book in them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a book in you, or in you?
yeah, it's not here at the moment.
Did you
I
write a book?
I wrote a journal, 30
Okay.
days of journaling prompts.
Oh, okay.
So that
Earlier,
you
and I didn't know
understand that you're worthy. You deserve to put the oxygen mask on first
that. Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
so that you take care of yourself. So yeah, and I know
Yes.
Steph's got a book in her, a couple probably.
Yeah, probably. I have
Mm.
one that I want to write about of like caring for yourself naturally and the whole
Yes.
gamut.
Yes.
There's also a creative story, like a children's story that's
Oh,
been
see?
trying to come out for, honestly, I found my old notes from when we lived in Topsfield before Joe and I even got married. So 15, 16 years ago. And I had all these old sketches and like an outline written, and I just hadn't fully developed it. And
But now you're
but
thinking
now
about
I'm
it again.
thinking I'm gonna go back to it. Yes.
Mhm.
So
Yes,
yeah.
please.
Yep.
Yes.
2025, girl.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
I
yeah,
do
I've
want to
got
hear
some stories.
about drag stories. Is that it?
Drag queen
Drag queen
story time.
story time.
Yes.
Yeah, people are up in arms about that and protesting it.
So silly.
What?
It's so silly.
I mean, the bloomer thing just kills me. I'm like,
Oh
really?
yeah. So
Because
drag.
kids don't even care. Like they don't look at you and go, "Are you a man?" I mean, maybe some do.
Yeah. Are you a man? That's funny because last night I sang at a fundraiser for pancreatic cancer awareness.
Yeah.
And I went into drag and I'll show you a picture of that too. But I have a different drag for different things, you know. So I arrived there at this sold out event, this enormous space. There must have been like hundreds of people there, and I walked by this table. Tables were large tables, like 12 people at each table, and there was a pretty popular hockey team at that table.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked by in my leopard skin and my big blonde wig, and I hear one guy, one of the hockey players, go, "Whoa!" And the other guy turns around and he goes, "Whoa! Oh, dude, I think that's a guy."
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my feelings are wrong. You know what's so funny is I took one of my friends to one of your first drag shows.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there watching the show, and she looks at me, she's like,
gorgeous. Oh my goodness.
she's like, is
Gorgeous.
it wrong that I'm slightly attracted to that?
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
I told her, I was like,
Nothing.
"Oh,
No.
it's kind of amazing."
One of the funniest
Right?
stories. I'm sorry, I get sidetracked easily because all anybody has to do is say a word and I have a story for it. But Steph was at one of my very first drag shows with her husband, and I did the Madonna song "Spank Me."
Yeah.
And I was dressed as Marilyn Monroe singing this song.
Yeah.
Is it called "Spank Me"?
I don't even know.
I don't
I
know.
don't remember.
But so I walked up to her. I had never had I met her,
I don't even know.
and I walked over to
Joe.
her husband Joe, and at the part where it says "Spank Me," I turned around and they've got these big butt pads on, like giant butt pads, and usually the guy, the people like spank you, and he did not.
What did he do?
Worried that Gandhi with the good suit was going to get mad at him because
he's
Jeff
like-
was like right
like,
there, and
I'm
he's
not
like,
spanking.
"I'm spanking Jeff."
His husband's right there. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can see that.
I would have, but no, Jeff was
He
like,
overthought it. He totally overthought it.
he
Yeah.
did. Yeah,
But-
that's my husband.
But we do tend to overthink. Well,
For the
I don't know,
most
but
part.
I overthink things all the
I
time.
overthink a lot. Yeah.
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 And it's usually, I mean, I have fights in my head.
Yes.
Like if they say
Yeah.
that, I'm gonna say this. And,
yes.
And it never even happens.
Well, and I think the funny thing about that story is it also shows that value of like, you know, like you were saying that you're a very loyal husband.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. Oh yeah.
And
yeah,
I think Joe's that same
Yeah.
way. So he's
Yeah.
like,
Right.
That's true.
I don't want to
Yeah.
cause trouble.
I I don't want to hit this guy dressed as a woman with his giant butt pads on.
Even though he's like, come on, hello.
Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah. Anyway, it was fun. That was my Oh, and then there was the time that I tried to be Stevie Nicks. I dressed as Stevie Nicks and sang "Stand Back," but I had these black platform shoes on that were like that, because she wears those giant platforms. And I was very new to drag.
He wasn't so good at walking.
I fell off my shoes onto an 80-year-old woman and took her down on the floor with me. And I have a very sick sense of humor, and I couldn't stop laughing. So I got this 80-year-old woman underneath me, and I'm wearing like a top hat and a giant wig.
And she's probably like, oh my God.
And I thought my husband like snaps into like gear, and I thought he was going to carry me out like Whitney Houston in The Bodyguard, It was so funny. I'm like, yeah, and I'm twisted, and yeah. I have such a sick sense of humor.
Yeah, I do remember Jeff helping the old lady up too. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even ask if she was okay because I couldn't stop laughing. Oh my God. And I gave those shoes away the next day.
I'm sure.
To one of our Lisa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she died. Yes.
Killed by drag.
She's dead now. Local woman decapitated by a drag queen.
Taken out by a drag queen.
Oh my God. Oh.
Yeah, right? I told you this was going to be a show.
How much time do we have? Because I still haven't told the haunted house story.
We don't have much. So
the haunted house story.
What time is it?
It's still 11:50. We got time.
I mean, I have to hop off, but you guys can just keep going.
All right. Well, no, you're not going anywhere. You're too nice. You're too nice to leave me like this.
I would love to stay. Believe me. What do you guys want to take one of my client calls for me?
Yes. Oh, I do.
Can you imagine?
I do.
I think you should. Yeah.
So we moved into a house that I got really bad vibes from walking through it. But we bought the house because it came with 2 buildable lots. So my husband's a realtor, and he's like, this is a great opportunity.
Yeah.
I knew something was wrong in the house from day one. As a matter of fact, at the closing, when I was signing, I was actually crying because I knew something was wrong. Long story short, it started right away. Like doors opening and closing, oven doors opening.
Oh my.
I'm making this long story very short because I know you have to go.
You're fine.
But it got really bad at one point. I mean, we had ghost hunters come in.
Right.
We had priests come in and bless the house.
Wow.
We had like 3 witches from Rhode Island come up and like try to cleanse the house, and that kind of worked. But I actually saw something one day in the backyard. I thought it was the guy who was there to repair the stone wall, and so I saw him in the backyard, and I looked at him and I waved, and then he was gone. And he was dressed in overalls and a white.
So that was the spirit.
There was 3.
Yeah.
So the last straw was we're lying in bed. It's July. It's so hot, even though the air conditioner was on.
Yeah.
And so we just had a sheet over us, because it was so hot. And then whenever anything would happen in the house, the room would get ice cold. It would just get ice cold. And it got so cold in the room, it woke us up. And Jeff turned to me, not knowing I was already awake from the coldness, and he said, I think something's here. And I whispered, I know. And then we watched as the sheet at the bottom of the bed twisted like this, and it was then started to be pulled off us. And I did what I do best, which is panic and overreact. And I screamed, I jumped out, I ran out of the room. That was not our last night there, because the witches came the next day from the white witches from Rhode Island.
Okay.
And so they came and they cleansed the house the best they could. And they said we weren't able to get rid of the ghosts, but we were able to contain them in this attic area, which was next to the bedroom. So they had this birch log with like 3 holes in it, and one hole had holy water in it. The next one had like, I don't know, sage or something else. And they said they can't cross this threshold.
I see.
And I will tell you, the whole house felt lighter.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in bed that night, and everything usually happened around 2:30. So we're in bed, and at 2:30, the attic door, which was a door, like a short door, the house was in 1732.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
All right. So we're lying in bed, and at 2:30 in the morning, the attic door starts rattling.
Yeah.
I have a very similar story.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's it. I'm out. I love you, but I can't live here. Yeah.
Right.
Then we rented it.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't sell it because we had only lived there 43 weeks. So we rented it, and the people that rented it called us like 2 weeks later. Hey, we know something's here. Yeah. And
Hey,
then
just by the way, it's
we don't want to rent to own anymore. But then this weird freaky thing happened where this guy called my husband and he said, hey, I heard that, that haunted house you have? He goes, how'd you know it was haunted? Because my friend's the one who's rented it. I've always wanted to live in a haunted house. How much? He bought it.
That's so awesome.
He lasted about a year.
Yeah. That's pretty haunted. Yeah. See, we had like mellow ghosts in Topsfield that we had a similar incident though where we were laying in bed and all of a sudden, and again, 1700s house, we were on the second floor, and there was like, you went from the living room, there was a doorway to like kind of a square space where you could go to the attic or to our bedroom. And one night about 2:30 in the morning, all of a sudden, click, 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 the handle on the door is going click, 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 click. And we woke up and first thought it was the cat. And so Joe's like, Chino, stop it. And
was not the cat.
Click, 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 click. I turn on the light. The cat is at the
beginning of the bed.
And she's at the beginning of the threshold from the living room looking at the handle. Like,
because pets can see.
They sense all the things. And it was hilarious because like my sisters lived in some pretty haunted places, but they're all like benign, nice ghosts for the most part. So it was like, I knew you just had to like, so long as it's a nice ghost, you can just kind of yell at it and tell it to go away. And so I was like, stop it, go away, and I just like yelled at the ghost. And Joe made us sleep with the lights on the whole night because he was so freaked out. Very quickly started purchasing a house. Right after that.
Hey, whatever you got to do to get that house purchased, that's what you got to do.
And I'll tell you, there are so many people out there who don't even believe our stories, but we lived through them, so we know.
Yeah.
All right, you got to take the client, right?
Yeah, I got to go here in a few minutes. She can just put her patient pants on. So Martha, who's going to be our guest like in a couple of weeks, she actually helps disembodied spirits to cross over. So they're no longer right. Carry
on the ghost stories.
That's great.
Yeah. So
this should have been your Halloween episode,
right?
Right. Exactly. Yes. So organized. What else do we want to talk about in the last couple of minutes?
Yeah. So I don't know. Do you want to share about your
well, there is my what?
Your crown.
Oh yeah. So I want
and why you did that.
Oh, I did this because in the gay world, if you're over 40, you're basically invisible. Did you know that? So I'm 63 and I competed at this beautiful venue against 20-year-olds, and I freaking won.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Awesome.
Like they were in their 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you won.
The girl who came in second, she's like a supermodel.
Yeah, she was gorgeous.
I think the only thing that
two of you won, I think, besides the fact that you were both awesome, but I think you both sang real.
We did, yeah.
So I think that,
and I think my leg up was the talent because I've been a singer since I've been 12 years old. You know?
Like, how to take a stage. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you sing?
Oh, and that's the other thing. I picked what I think is the perfect song. There's a very famous Broadway play called La Cage aux Folles. It's about an aging drag queen. And the song is called I Am What I Am.
Yeah.
And you have to accept me if you don't accept me for who I am, That's okay. I'm fine with who I am. And it's a very powerful song.
It is.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. But I am going to tell you, I'm going to be part of it next year, the planning part, because I think it ran a little long. And people like to go out and they like to support things, but they also want to get home.
Yeah, right.
Like I have I'm ADHD, so you can only keep my attention for like 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. We're lucky we've had him for a whole hour.
I was going to say, we managed to hold your attention for almost an hour.
Well, you're very easy to talk to, Sarah Milliken.
Oh, well, thank you. Likewise, Don.
And you have to look up Sarah Milliken's comedy because she is so, you will howl. She's not really a dirty comic, but she's just charming. She got me through COVID.
Really?
She got me through COVID. Yeah. Cause she did, she read a part of her book every day. She's a few books out. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'll have to look her up for sure.
Please do.
All right. I have got to unfortunately hop off, but, Dale,
and I have to go to the gym. I have to pump up my disco titties.
Well, I mean, just those arms, like show us the, come on. Beautifully.
Are you going to tip me?
I mean, sure.
I'm finally getting one.
I'm old enough.
I'm getting one.
I can tip you. Here. All right. That's it. Yeah. Steph, by the way, we need to do some kind of retreat in your area and we need to go to one of Dale's shows. Just saying.
That'd be so fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
All right, everybody. So I'm going to hop off and you want to wrap off?
Oh, good.
Wrap off.
Thank you so much for joining.
I'd love to hear her rap. What's your rap like?
It's terrible. Whitest rap you've ever heard.
I was going to say 2 white girls rapping. Good luck with that.
All right. I know we have seconds, but I just noticed you have 1, 2 llamas and Stephanie has like 10 llamas. What's the llama connection?
That's from Polka Dot with no llama drama.
No llama.
No drama. No
drama llama.
No drama llama.
Drama llama ding dong. Got it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us on Smiling Souls. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks for
Love
the white.
You both. Nice
Bye.
to meet you. Bye.